Hi, I'm Laura Cochran. I'm a junior at Lakeville South High School and giving my testimony today. I am very disorganized and forgot about this. So I kind of am not very prepared, but I'm better with just free living, I guess, and I think it's better if it's not scripted. And so I just have a bunch of bullet points, and I'm gonna go over how I started my relationship with Christ and just how I've made it my own. That beeping noise was my dad's computer. Okay, so my faith journey has just kind of been throughout my whole life because my parents were Christians and I grew up in a Christian household. They brought me to church every single Sunday and every single Wednesday since I was born. And I don't know, it's just it's always been in my life and I've never known anything different. And I think it was the common case of it was my parents' faith at first and not really my own. I knew God existed. I didn't really understand how important that was at first. When we're younger and we go to church, we enjoy it for at my church we have Sunday school and then we have Wednesday nights where we have gym and we sing songs and it's so much fun. But that's what I saw it as. I was like, oh, this is fun. I get to be with my friends. But I never really took the time to really understand my own faith. I never understood why it was that important. I was like, oh yeah, we love God, we love Jesus, he's there for us. But there's so much more to it. And this started really hitting me when I started going to my Bible camp, Grindstone Lake Bible Camp. It's 2 hours north. And I had been going there since very young, I think first grade, and I go every single summer. And it's one of those things where every summer I would go there and I'd feel so connected with God and I'd be like, I'm going to restart my faith journey. I'm going to read my Bible, pray. It's always those two things because people are like, yeah, read your Bible, pray, you're all good. But then I started working there and this is when it actually hit me. I think it was 8th grade, the summer after 8th grade. I went there and we had this speaker and he showed us this video of it was putting in the death of Christ into terms that we could understand, because obviously you're always yeah, God gave his one and only son for us, and you don't really understand that. I didn't really understand how sad and deep that is. But then I watched that video and it was a video of a son and a dad, and the dad brought his son to work and he worked with the train and they brought down the bridges or something like that, and the son was playing and down at the thing and his dad wasn't paying attention and the train started coming and the son was shoot, the bridge is still up, I have to put it down. And he went to try to go do that and got stuck in the an area that was really dangerous, and his dad, instead of going to save his son, he saved the train full of people and killed his son. And that I cried, and I'm not a very emotional person, and that just really hit me. I was that the love that he had for his son, and he gave it up for that group of people he didn't even know. They didn't even know him. It's just so crazy to me because that's what God did. So many people that Jesus died for don't even know him. They don't even acknowledge his existence. They pray to other things. They put other things above him, but he still died for them. And I mean, me as a Christian, I'm not perfect either. I put other things above him all the time, but he still died for me. And that's just so crazy to me. But now I want to say that my faith is has its ups and downs. Obviously, it's so easy to be caught up in the day-to-day life of a teenager, and I mean, I'm in swimming and weightlifting, and it's just so easy to be caught up with that, my sports and my friends and wanting to balance all of that. And it's just, you want to I've learned that I want to try to start putting God as my priority, because if you put God as your priority, then everything else falls in line, and it's like it feels so much better. But I was sitting here, like, I would do all that for so long, and then I just feel like this deep sorrow because I had pushed God off to the side and I had just forgotten about him. And then I would pray and be like, I'm so sorry, God, like, I'm sorry that I did this. And then I would go back to the same, just going off with my friends, doing my sports, doing my schoolwork, and then I would hit that low again. I'd be like, God, I'm so sorry I did this again. Just please forgive me. And he forgives us every single time. And it's like, I would not be able to do that. Like, no. It's like, learn from your mistakes. Come on. But it's really difficult to just, that's like one of the things I struggle with the most, is keeping him as the center point of my life. And I've been focused on that a lot lately, and I've been trying to read my Bible and pray to him, and it's one of those things where it just needs to be a daily thing for me to remember to do it. And then once I remember to do it and I become a daily thing, then I'll remember to do it every single day, and then my life will be centered around that, and I'll feel great. And obviously, once, like, when you find that with God and you put him as the center, everything's not going to be perfect. Like, I'm in weightlifting, and I've had a back injury for like the past 2 years, or I mean, it's been there for like the last like 5 years, but like I really started looking into it like 2 years ago, and it kind of just put a wrench in my things and like my plans, because I plan on going to college and lifting in college. And when I got this injury, I went in and they were like, yeah, you have to take at least like a month off. And I was like, what? Like, I had to take a month off of doing activity, like all activity. And that was really difficult for me. And I did it. And then I went back into lifting and the pain came back. And I just kind of ignored it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to slowly work myself back up, like hopefully it will go away, but it never did. And I just went back into the doctors like yesterday, and they told me I have to take a break from activities again. And I'm just like, there's a part of me that is thinking, God, why would you give me this like goal in life and like this purpose that I think is my purpose, and just throw a wrench in it and be like, oh, you have to deal with this. But I've prayed about it, and I've come to realize that not everything in our lives is going to be good. He says it in the Bible. Jesus explains that to us. Not everything is going to go like perfect for us. And God has a plan for me. And so I don't have to worry and stress about these like wrenches that he's throwing at me, because I know that through him I can get through it, and he has a plan for me, so I shouldn't be worried about my future that I've planned for myself, because he has one for me. And that's like the most mind-blowing thing that I've thought of, is just the fact that we're so busy planning our own lives that we forget that God has a plan for us. I've kind of like rambled on in this video. That's what happens, I guess, when you don't write it down. But one of the main things that I've learned throughout my whole faith journey is that you need to trust in God, and you need to have that personal relationship with him and make it your own. Because when I really made it my own that one summer at Grindstone, and then every year that I've gone back and worked there, it hits you so differently, and you feel so good. And you know that he has a plan for you, and you can put your life in his hands, and you can just sit back. And obviously, you can't just be lazy and be like, oh yeah, God's got me, like, I don't have to do anything. But like, just, you don't have to worry. Like, the stress and the anxiety that we all feel, just, if you put it in God's hands, it just kind of, it relieves it. It takes off of your shoulders, and you're just like, God, I know you're there for me. I know that you love me. I know that you have a plan for me. So just help me realize that you're in control. I don't need to be this self-centered, like, controlling person, I can just give it all to you and just go about my day-to-day life and just let the stress go. And I think that's very important, especially with all of these we're all high school students, and with like the homework and the online crap that's going on, online stuff, and it's just, the stress is overwhelming, and I think we really just need to learn to give it to God and trust that his plan for us is great and it's gonna work out. So that's all I have. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you can build your relationship with God and start that personal relationship and trust in him.